It's a big week for NASA and space exploration as the agency's first rover since 2012 lands on Mars. Perseverance is serving multiple purposes, collecting samples of Martian rock and soil. We're excited to have Eric Ianson, NASA Mars Exploration Program Director, joining us. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here on this exciting day.
Yeah, so let's start by talking about the mission. The rover will be searching for signs of ancient life, studying geology and climate on the red planet. Tell us more about what's going to be studied and what then happens with those collected samples.
Yeah, so there are multiple facets to the mission. We will be doing some measurements on the planet itself and looking at geology, the atmosphere, trying to make sure that we understand what resources are there for humans in the future or potentially hazards that they may have to deal with, as well as, importantly, searching for signs of ancient life.
And something unique I was reading about this mission, too, is that we'll actually get to hear Mars for the first time. So what's significant about being able to hear the red planet?
Yeah, this is a really cool thing. So in addition to the seven science instruments that are on the mission, we're actually including 2 microphones on it. So we'll actually be able to hear as we are coming in and landing and hear what the atmosphere is like on Mars, so sort of the wind and any other conditions that we might hear on Mars. And because the Martian atmosphere is significantly thinner than that on Earth, things may sound different. So one of our tools, for example, if it's doing drilling, it may sound entirely different on Mars than it would sound on Earth.
That'll be really interesting to hear those sounds when we get them. So the Perseverance is also landing in a challenging area called the Jezero crater. Why land there? Why is it so dangerous to land in that crater?
Well, any landing on Mars is dangerous. So, you know, they call it the 7 minutes of terror for a reason, because from the time we enter the atmosphere to landing, it's a real challenge. But in particular, Jezero crater is an interesting location because it's a dry lake bed. It's about 28 miles wide, and from orbit, it looks like a promising place where life may have existed in the distant past. We think this was once a flooded area, flooded with water, and there may have been a delta there as rivers were pouring into this crater and creating this lake. So during these wet times on the planet, there may have actually been life, and we're interested to try and study that and see if we can find some signs of it.
And the Perseverance actually has a sidekick as well named Ingenuity. So what is Ingenuity and what will it be used for?
So Ingenuity is actually a helicopter, and this is the first time we're ever doing powered flight on another body outside of Earth. Should be really interesting. So it's situated below the rover itself, and it'll drop down, and the rover will drive away from it. And it will do an initial powered flight where it just goes shortly above the surface and then comes back down. But as we gain experience with it, it's going to continue to do additional flights and hops around. So this will be a really interesting experiment to see, can we actually use something like a drone to fly around on Mars?
Yeah, groundbreaking in a number of ways, this mission, and a lot of work, a lot of time. Millions of miles has gone into getting the rover to Mars. So what has that process been like to prepare for this moment? And what has your role been throughout this whole process? What has that been like for you?
So for me, I get a lot of reward for seeing all the people who are working on this day to day. So I work on multiple things, not just this mission. But this team is incredible. These are the best people in the world working on this mission. And it is really rewarding to see the years that they've put into this, culminating with launch and this entry, descent, and landing that's coming up today. And it is just going to be an incredible moment for the team. So that's what really excites me about it, is the gratitude for all the hard work that people put into it. Thousands of people who are involved in this, from people making small components to the people doing the testing to the scientists involved. It's really an incredible team effort.
And how long will Perseverance be on Mars?
Well, it's there for the duration, so it's going to stay there. We plan for a year of the mission, but our rovers in the past have lasted significantly longer. Curiosity, the previous rover, has been there for 8 years. We're hoping to get a lot of science out of this and be able to navigate around Jezero Crater and find some interesting things, collect some samples so that we may be able to return them back to Earth one day.
And of course, there's a lot of interest in this. How can people continue to get the latest on this mission?
So the best place to go is to nasa.gov, and there is all sorts of interesting information that you can find there. And I find fascinating things on there myself, so I'm sure that your viewers will as well.
Yeah, it's a neat website. I've been playing around with it. Some very interactive, a lot of video, a lot of images. Eric Ianson, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your insight and congratulations on this historic mission.
Thank you so much.